Now, Dianne Feinstein, a.k.a. Dianne Franken-Feinstein, on CBS's Face the Nation, January 15, 2006, 11 years ago, here's what she had to say about filibustering a Supreme Court nominee. Go.
Are your concerns strong enough, Senator, then, that you would support a filibuster?
I
to
do
block
not
him?
see the likelihood of a filibuster. To be very candid with you, I don't see those kinds of egregious things emerging that would justify a filibuster. And I think when it comes to filibustering a Supreme Court appointment, you really have to have something out there, whether it's gross moral turpitude or something that comes to the surface. Now, I mean, this is a man I might disagree with. That doesn't mean he shouldn't be on the court.
That's 2006, 11 years ago. She's a liar, too. She's deceitful and dishonest, too. Now, the fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make something really, really clear. They keep bringing up this guy, Merrick Garland, who is a judge on the Washington, D.C. Court of Appeals. Now, first, the Washington, D.C., the D.C. Court of Appeals, the D.C. Circuit, has three new judges. They have three new judges on that court because Barack Obama, Harry Reid, and Chuck Schumer decided to stack the court and to pack it. So they added three judges to a court that didn't need three judges. So they would have a majority leftist court. I'm telling you what's going on here. That's number one. You need to know about that court. Number two, when Obama nominated Merrick Garland, a judge on that court, to serve on the Supreme Court in the last year of his presidency, during the course of a presidential election, he broke the traditions of this country. That hadn't been done for 180 years. For 180 years, that had not been done. But he did it. Number three, he did it in the face of the fact that it wasn't that long ago when his predecessor, George W. Bush, was told by his now vice president at the time, Joe Biden, when Joe Biden was a senator. He went to the Senate floor, as did others, as did Obama and so forth, and said that George W. Bush, he had about 18 months left in his presidency in the second term, they said he better not nominate anybody to the Supreme Court if there's a vacancy, because they'll fight it. So again, the lying, the deceit, the hypocrisy, the dishonesty, it's incredible, because the process doesn't matter. And yet when you're talking about constitutional republicanism, process matters. Who gets to decide what? Whether you're going to honor rules or not. But they don't care. And I guess we shouldn't be surprised, but when you watch it play out, it's pretty disgusting. And I say I guess we shouldn't be surprised because they don't believe in the Constitution. Again, what we learned through the Neil Gorsuch hearings in the United States Judiciary Committee in the Senate was that Gorsuch is a decent, by-the-book judge. But what we really learned is that every single Senate Democrat sitting on that committee has nothing but contempt for the Constitution, as written, as should be interpreted, and nothing but contempt for the founders of this country and the framers of the Constitution, and nothing but contempt for American history. One after another. They trashed this country. They trashed the Constitution. They trashed anybody who believed in actually trying to faithfully uphold the Constitution. And of course, they made no sense throughout the whole process. They kept insisting that judges follow judicial precedent because they know over the last 100 years that the Supreme Court has moved, particularly over the last, since Franklin Roosevelt, particularly since the last 80 years, has moved, lurched hard left, has upheld the changes in our constitutional order, has upheld the centralization of government despite the 10th Amendment and so forth. So they want judges to follow judicial precedent, not the Constitution, precedent, except where they disagree with the precedent. Then they don't want them to follow judicial precedent. Then they want them to follow a living and breathing Constitution, meaning to enshrine, to institute, to establish their left-wing ideology as the law of the land. So there's no way out for anybody. So there's no way out for anybody. Just wanted to point that out. And yet, even in the end, you have this thoroughly decent man, Neil Gorsuch, these heavily funded left-wing organizations. There's scores of them funded by Soros, funded by one billionaire after another on the left, who exist to destroy any nominee who doesn't fit their ideological mold. They were there waiting. They had the list of 21. The list of 21 that President Trump ran on. These are the 21 individuals I will choose from should there be a vacancy on the Supreme Court. And he picks Neil Gorsuch. And they dig and dig and dig, and they can't find anything. They try and take his decisions, and they want to pretend that, oh, well, he hates the little guy. Oh, he's for corporatists. Oh, he's against women. Oh, he believes in dirty water. Remember that? Remember Nancy Pelosi? How absurd? Well, she's always absurd. But she was particularly absurd. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at the 11th hour, you know what they found? Nothing. So you know what they accused him of? Plagiarism. Plagiarism. They thought they got him. They held it to the last minute. Plagiarism. Some guy went through this, and he compared it with that. The problem is twofold. The three individuals that he's accused of plagiarizing said, no, he didn't. I've looked at what he wrote. He didn't plagiarize anything. And then the second point is, most of what he had written was an explanation of the facts in a case. Well, there's only so many ways you can write an explanation of the facts in the case. And the man has written thousands and thousands and thousands of pages, hundreds of thousands of words. But they thought they found a couple paragraphs, you know. But that fell flat, too. It's because what they try to do is destroy you, destroy the system. Nothing can get in the way. Now, who knows how the future is going to pan out when it comes to this? I do know. And I just want to emphasize it every time I can. If we don't get an Article 5 Convention of States and straighten out what's going on, I can tell you the federal government is not going to control itself. I can tell you the Democrats, they don't care. They do not honor election results. And I can tell you, this is our country. It's not Chuck Schumer's country. It's not Dianne Feinstein's country. Look, it's not the Republicans either. It's our country, and we need to take it back. We need to take it back before the whole Constitution is eviscerated. Article 5 is there. Convention of States is there. I don't know what we're afraid of. They have a constitutional convention every time Congress is meeting. The president issues a fiat. The Supreme Court meets, and we sit back and say, oh, I love my Constitution. So do I. But the Constitution is ratified by the framers is not the Constitution that's applied today. And that's what we need to restore. That's it.